What does it mean when a substance in the materials table is written in italics? Proper shipping names are shown how on the hazardous materials table? Column 2. Column 2 lists the proper shipping names and descriptions of regulated materials. Entries are in an alphabetical order so you can more quickly find the right entry. The table shows proper shipping names in regular type. The shipping paper must show proper shipping names. Names shown in italics are not proper shipping names. If hazardous material is marked forbidden, you should refuse the forbidden package. Column 3. Column 3 shows a materials hazard class or division, or the entry forbidden. Never transport a forbidden material. You placard shipments based on the quantity and hazard class. You can decide which placards to use if you know these three things: the materials hazard class, amount being shipped, and amount of all hazardous materials of all classes on your vehicle. Why is a hazardous materials identification number important? Tankers used to transport hazardous materials need Column 4. Column 4 lists the identification number for each proper shipping name. Identification numbers are preceded by the letters UN or NA. The letters NA are associated with proper shipping names that are only used within the United States and to and from Canada. The identification number must appear on the shipping paper as part of the shipping description and also appear on the package. It also must appear on cargo tanks and other bulk packaging. Police and firefighters use this number to quickly identify the hazardous material. The designation RQ identifies a material's who must be notified in the instance of any spill exceeding the reportable quantity. The list of hazardous substances and reportable quantities. The DOT and the EPA want to know about spills of hazardous substances. They are named in the list of hazardous substances and reportable quantities in Figure 9-5. Column 3 of the list shows each product's reportable quantity. When these materials are being transported in a reportable quantity or greater in one package, the shipper displays the letters RQ on the shipping paper and package. The letters RQ may appear before or after the basic description. You or your employer must report any spill of these materials that occurs in a reportable quantity. When may hazard class words or identification numbers describe non-hazardous materials? When transporting both hazardous and non-hazardous materials, your bills must the item description. If a shipping paper describes both hazardous and non-hazardous products, the hazardous material will be either described first or highlighted in a contrasting color or identified by an X placed before the shipping name in a column captioned HM. The letters RQ may be used instead of X if a reportable quantity is present in one package. The shipping name may be abbreviated in the basic description of hazardous materials only if the item description. The basic description of hazardous materials includes the proper shipping name, hazard class or division, the identification number, and the packaging group, if any, in that order. The packaging group is displayed in Roman numerals and may be preceded by PG. Shipping name, hazard class, and identification number must not be abbreviated unless specifically authorized in the hazardous materials regulations. The description must also show the total quantity and unit of measure. The letters RQ if a reportable quantity. If the letters RQ appear, the name of the hazardous substance. For NOS in generic descriptions, the technical name of the hazardous material. Shipping papers also must list an emergency response telephone number. The emergency response telephone number is the responsibility of the shipper. It can be used by emergency responders to obtain information about any hazardous materials involved in a spill or fire. What is shipper's certification? Where does shipper's certification appear? Shipper's certification. When the shipper packages hazardous materials, he or she certifies that the package has been prepared according to the rules. The signed shipper certification appears on the original shipping paper. The only exception are when a shipper is a private carrier transporting their own product and when the package is provided by the carrier, for example, a cargo tank. Unless a package is clearly unsafe or does not comply with the HMR, you may accept the shipper's certification concerning proper packaging. Some carriers have additional rules about transporting hazardous materials. Follow your employer's rules when accepting shipments. Who signs shipper's certification? What is the only exception to certification by a shipper? Shipper's certification. When the shipper packages hazardous materials, he or she certifies that the package has been prepared according to the rules. The signed shipper certification appears on the original shipping paper. The only exception are when a shipper is a private carrier transporting their own product and when the package is provided by the carrier, for example, a cargo tank. Unless a package is clearly unsafe or does not comply with the HMR, you may accept the shipper's certification concerning proper packaging. Some carriers have additional rules about transporting hazardous materials. Follow your employer's rules when accepting shipments. A properly prepared uniform hazardous waste manifest only give hazardous waste shipment to hazardous waste manifest. When transporting hazardous wastes, you must sign by hand and carry a uniform hazardous waste manifest. The name and EPA registration number of the shippers, carriers, and destination must appear on the manifest. Shippers must prepare, date, and sign by hand the manifest. Treat the manifest as a shipping paper when transporting the waste. Only give the waste shipment to another registered carrier or disposal treatment facility. Each carrier transporting the shipment must sign by hand the manifest. After you deliver the shipment, carry your copy of the manifest. Each copy must have all needed signatures and dates, including those of the person to whom you delivered the waste. When should a placard be placed on the vehicle? The only time an improperly placarded vehicle may be moved is placarding. Attach the appropriate placards to the vehicle before you drive it. You are only allowed to move an improperly placarded vehicle during an emergency in order to protect life or property. Placards must be placed. Placarding revisited. Placards must appear on both sides and ends of the vehicle. Each placard must be easily seen from the direction it faces. Placed so the words or numbers are level and read from left to right, at least 3 inches away from any other markings, kept clear of attachments or devices such as ladders, doors, and tarpaulins, kept clean and undamaged so that the color, format, and message are easily seen. You must have placards for explosive, poison gas, or radioactive materials exceeding. What label indicates the highest level of radioactivity? The placard tables. There are 2 placard tables, Table 1 and Table 2. Table 1 materials must be placarded whenever any amount is transported.